What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the 2016 BMW M235i. This car is also tuned, so it's got some power over the stock one. And honestly, this is probably a really good bang for the buck, rear-wheel drive sports car, turbo engine, lightning fast automatic transmission, and just a lot of cool things to offer. So let's hop in and see why these things are so fun. Alright guys, so we are now with Hadley in the M235i. Check her out on Instagram, she's an awesome photographer as well, so definitely check her out there. But so you have had this for what, a month or two now? Just bought it?
About a month.
And it's already tuned, so what was it stock and now what are we putting out?
So it was 302 stock, now it's around 360, and I've also gained about 100 pounds of torque.
Nice. And that's with, who tuned it again?
Dynamic Auto Tune.
Okay.
They're in Charlotte.
Nice.
They're really, really great. They're doing all the work on the car.
Sweet. So this is the N55 motor, which is pretty similar to the B58 that I'm used to. And this car, as you guys know, the Supra that I also own, is a BMW underneath, and both of the cars have a lot of similarities. And already, I mean, the climate control, the shifter, a lot of this is the same thing. So it's a very familiar car for me, and I've driven the M2s quite a bit, and those are one of my favorite cars. Just, you got such a good balance of interior space, and then of course they're fun. So with this car, this is like mid $20,000 range. People can pick something like this up.
Yeah, this was $26,000.
Nice, with what, 40-something thousand miles on it?
45.
Nice. And I mean, obviously you're getting a luxury car, BMW, and then it's also a good performance car, and you said that it handles really well, and I know you've done some burnouts and stuff with it. I saw those videos. But yeah. But so right now we're in comfort mode. That's just the default, I guess, automatic normal mode. And it's a nice car, as you'd expect. It's a BMW, and it drives very smooth. We'll go ahead and put it into the sport mode. So we got manual, and you just bump it once, and that puts you into the real manual. And then sport modes, Sport Plus, I guess, the best way to roll.
Yep.
So we'll do this. We've got the paddle shifters. So can we get on a little bit?
Absolutely. Go
as
ahead.
we pass an M2.
I know.
Holy crap. Yeah, that was 55.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And this is just a tune. There's no exhaust or anything done to this yet?
Nope, just a tune.
Wow. It is a properly fast car. That transmission, oh my gosh. Wow. So I've never driven one of these before.
Really?
I've driven the M2s, which I've always been a fan of, but this is, I mean, half the price of one of those. Wow. This is already so fast. And that was my first acceleration.
I know. They're so fun.
Wow. So we have the same ZF8 speed that I'm used to, and then this is also available with a manual if people want.
It is.
Sweet. So that is such a good blend. Wow, the throttle response. Dang. And I love that this car does have a 6-cylinder engine, because you get into 4-cylinder cars that might have this power, but they just don't carry the weight of the engine, or they don't carry that acceleration like a 6-cylinder does. This actually has, it does, yeah. And it has top end too, it actually just keeps ripping. And it's such a comfortable car. I'm hitting these speeds and I'm not even thinking about it, like it just gets there. So handling, does it have magnetic suspension or anything?
It has adaptive suspension,
Okay.
yes.
So these sharp turns now, I mean, that is flat. Dang. This is an impressive car for the price, like hands down. So I've never really had the 2 Series on my radar of like good, affordable sports cars. Obviously that's changed now that I'm driving one. That's awesome. But it really, like the steering and everything is so sharp and tight, and there's genuinely no body roll whatsoever. Oh, I love that power too. Do you have plans for an exhaust, downpipe and stuff?
Yes,
Okay,
I want to
good.
go full bolt on. It's super quiet now.
Yeah. That is gonna, oh, that's gonna be insane, because you're probably gonna get another like 50 horsepower or so.
Yeah.
Wow. And that was just a 5th gear pull. Wow. It just carries so well. Oh, that's awesome. So you went from a 350Z to an STI to this car in pretty much like 6 months.
Yes.
What made you go to this? Because you asked me about the M2 and the Supra, my thoughts on that, and you went with one of these. What about this car kind of made you pick it?
So to me, it was more affordable way to get what I want.
Yeah.
So I was considering the Supra,
like, obviously I'm used to the Supra. You have pretty much the same engine, just a little bit different, but pretty much the same transmission, probably the exact same transmission. But wow, it feels like a good sports car, which is awesome, and yet it's still practical, you know, back seat, trunk, and all that. Gosh. Yeah, an exhaust is gonna be insane.
I know.
And I love how, like, when you floor it and let off, there's so much turbo power. When you let off, you just feel the car like stop.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a properly powerful car. And one thing I've noticed with BMWs in general, they don't make slow cars. Even like a basic 2 Series will still be quick. So once you get into this car, being it's already an M car of some sort, it's properly powerful. And then with the tune, I mean, a 4,000 RPM pull in 4th gear. Like, dang. So what are some of your favorite things about this car so far?
The torque.
Yeah.
It's just such a fun car to drive. It's my daily.
Okay.
And it makes a really great daily too. Because you can just put it back in eco or comfort and then you get the gas mileage, or you can put it in sport and have a little sports car.
Yeah, because right now we're in Eco Pro and there's like no throttle response, like having half throttling and nothing's happening.
Exactly.
Which is of course. But yeah, like this, you know, cruise control and you're just cruising. That's awesome. And then manual mode now, back to sport. You can kind of just feel everything tightens up, sharpens up a little bit. And I love how the transmission, this is probably the best torque converter automatic out there. It can go from just comfortable, you don't even feel it, to very responsive feeling. So a lot of people ask about how the ZF8 speed compares to a DCT. They feel really similar, I think, in the performance. The only way you can really tell is like the slow speed. This might be just a little bit more smooth. But I love how everything with it is so instant and responsive. Like, it's genuinely... Goodness. You actually hit speeds that you shouldn't be doing.
I know.
Really quickly.
You don't even notice.
Not that we're going above 55, of course, but my goodness, that's impressive. So how long did you have it stock before you went with the tune? And like, kind of what big differences did you notice once it was tuned?
I had it for about 2 weeks before I had it tuned.
Alright.
So not long at all.
Yeah.
The biggest differences that I noticed was the torque.
Yeah.
So adding 100 pounds of torque is a lot.
Oh yeah, I feel that.
And it's just a lot more responsive than it was.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun stock as well, but I just want to mess with things as soon as I buy them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even just the tune, it puts it on a level of proper fast. Like, it's not a car where you're like, yeah, it's pretty quick. It's actually fast. So we'll do a slower speed acceleration from 1st gear. Just kind of get up and go. Get in 2nd gear though. Wow. That's nuts. That is nuts. Like this price range, I mean, you're looking at a 370Z, I guess an STI or something like that, maybe a WRX. This hands down will smoke those cars. And you have the muscle behind 6 cylinders versus a 4-cylinder, and versus NA, which you can't really do anything with. Wow. Wow, it has a lot of the same sharpness that I notice in the Supra, and you really don't feel, I don't know the weight of this at all. I'm sure it's probably similar to the Supra, but not too crazy.
Yeah.
But goodness gracious, that is an impressive blend of power and everything in this car. And then, like I like in cars, you tone it down to normal mode, automatic, and it's a comfortable luxury BMW with space in the back. And being the roof actually goes a little bit farther, you actually have headroom back there, so it can be usable for extra people.
It's a very practical car.
Yeah.
Even though it is a coupe.
Yeah, it's nice, and when you can look in there, that is a lot of headroom and space. But that's cool. And then in comfort mode, you know, the suspension's nice and everything. As far as the interior, this is typical BMW. I mean, basic everything. Same as the Supra. Nothing too crazy. I do like how you have the same screen as me. You got the torque gauges and all that kind of stuff. It's sweet though. Comment down below, guys, what do you think of the 2 Series and the M versions? Not the legit M2, but the M Sport version, I guess, of these cars. Because they have a lot to offer for a great price. Like, this seriously packs so much of a punch. Wow. I love that torque. Like, that just feels insane. Do you have any, so for an exhaust, any update, or do you know when that's going to happen? Because I would really love to drive it with like a straight pipe.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
I can't decide if I want to do suspension next or exhaust. Because the suspension's pretty decent already with the adaptive suspension.
Yeah.
But it's just so quiet.
Yeah. I would vote exhaust and then maybe just lowering springs, because if you already have the magnetic dampers, just the springs will help it just get a little bit stiffer and you know, give you that lower drop, but you won't sacrifice the adaptive suspension, which is super awesome.
For sure.
And the exhaust, I mean, you're gonna obviously enjoy that every time you drive it. So I think that's about wrapping it up for the M235i. Hadley, thanks for coming out and letting me check out the car. This is a sweet car and I love the blue. Like, the blue looks insane, especially with this lighter interior. So definitely got a good spec, and seems like you already are on the ball with modifying it and making it even more epic. Definitely check her out on Instagram. I'll have that link down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video of this car. It is sweet, a great bang for the buck. The power is insane, even with just a tune with no mods. Bolt-ons and modified, this thing's gonna be like completely ripping and sound epic as well. It is definitely epic, and the handling is really good. Even stock form, this car has a lot to offer, and then the mods, of course, there's so much potential. But if you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content to come, and I'll see you guys next video.